Consistency over intensity is one of the greatest truths every learner must embrace. And I want you to feel this with your whole heart today. Because so many people think success comes from doing something big, something loud, something dramatic. But real growth, the kind that changes your confidence and your future, comes from the smallest actions repeated every single day. When you choose consistency, you choose commitment, you choose discipline. You choose to show up for yourself even on the days you don't feel motivated. And that, my dear listener, is where true transformation begins. Most beginners make one common mistake. They wait for motivation. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait for a 3-hour study session that never actually happens. And then they feel guilty, frustrated, disappointed. But let me tell you this with full power, motivation will not build your fluency, consistency will. Even if you study for just 5 minutes a day, those 5 minutes have more power than a whole week of waiting. Because consistency trains your mind, strengthens your habits, and reminds you that you are capable of showing up for your dreams every single day. When you practice English daily, even in small doses, something magical happens. Your brain begins to adapt. Your confidence begins to rise. Your fear begins to shrink. You don't even realize how much progress you're making until one day you speak a sentence effortlessly. And you think, where did that come from? It came from your consistency. It came from those tiny moments when you didn't give up on yourself. Consistency builds trust within your own heart. It tells you, yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, I'm becoming better. And that is the beauty of choosing daily effort over occasional intensity. It's not about how much you do. It's about how honestly you repeat it. Because repeated honesty becomes strength, and strength becomes mastery, and mastery becomes the voice you've always dreamed of speaking with. Learning with curiosity, not fear, is a mindset that can completely transform the way you approach English. And I want you to feel this deep in your heart. So often people look at English and see rules, mistakes, and judgments. They see a mountain too high to climb. But what if you shifted your vision? What if instead of fear, you approached English like a friend waiting to be discovered? Like a treasure chest full of opportunities just for you? Curiosity opens doors that fear keeps locked. Curiosity makes learning exciting, alive, and personal. Fear, on the other hand, paralyzes. It tells you, you're not good enough, you'll never get it right, don't even try. But you are stronger than that fear. You are more capable than that voice in your head. You can choose curiosity, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels unfamiliar, because that choice changes everything. When you approach English with curiosity, every word becomes a new adventure. Every sentence a puzzle you are eager to solve. You listen not to judge yourself, but to understand. You read not to memorize, but to explore. And when you speak, you experiment, knowing that every mistake is a stepping stone, every stumble is a teacher. Curiosity allows you to engage fully without the burden of perfection. It invites joy into your journey. You will find yourself asking questions, repeating sentences just to hear them, noticing patterns, discovering meaning, and slowly but surely, your confidence will grow, because fear has no room where curiosity thrives. And here's the secret. The more curious you are, the more your brain begins to adapt, to absorb, to retain. Curiosity fuels your practice, makes repetition bearable, even enjoyable, because you are exploring instead of forcing. You start noticing subtle changes, small improvements, tiny victories that become big milestones over time. You learn to embrace mistakes as lessons, not failures. You stop worrying about being judged, and you start celebrating your growth, your persistence, your courage to engage, to try, to speak, to learn with full heart. Thinking in English, even in small steps, is one of the most powerful habits you can develop as a learner, and I want you to feel the weight of this truth right now. So often, we spend hours memorizing words, repeating sentences, and practicing grammar, yet we still struggle to speak naturally. Why? Because our mind is still thinking in our native language, translating everything, hesitating, doubting. That hesitation is the thief of fluency. But when you begin to train your mind to think directly in English, something magical happens. Your thoughts flow faster, your words come easier, your confidence rises, and suddenly speaking in English feels less like a chore and more like a natural expression of who you are. Start small. Start with one sentence in your mind when you wake up, one phrase when you look around, one thought as you go about your day. Say to yourself, I am hungry, I am happy, I will try. Don't wait for perfection. Don't worry if your sentences are simple or incomplete. Your brain is learning a new way to process information. Every time you consciously switch your thought to English, you are building neural pathways. You are teaching your mind a new rhythm, a new logic, a new voice. And over time, those small switches accumulate into a profound change. Your mind begins to flow in English. Your mouth begins to follow naturally. Your fear begins to shrink, because thinking and speaking start to feel like one effortless act. And here's the beauty. Thinking in English also fuels your curiosity and creativity. You notice words more. You observe sentences. You explore expressions. You stop waiting to be ready and start engaging with English in real life. You realize that mistakes are not obstacles. They are signals of growth. You begin to internalize the language rather than just memorize it. And with every thought you convert, every small mental switch you make, your confidence strengthens, your fluency builds, and you become someone who doesn't just learn English, but someone who lives in English, breathing it, feeling it, expressing it with courage and joy every single day. Creating your own immersion is not just a strategy, it is a revolution in the way you learn English, and I want you to feel the power of this truth deeply. So many beginners make the mistake of waiting for formal classes, textbooks, or teachers to give them English. But the truth is, English is all around you, waiting for you to step in and claim it. Immersion means surrounding yourself with English in ways that make learning natural, fun, and unavoidable. It means turning your environment into a teacher, a constant source of practice, a playground for your mind. When you do this, learning becomes less of a chore and more of a lifestyle. You don't just study English. You live it, breathe it, experience it every single day. Start small, but start intentionally. Listen to English songs and pay attention to the lyrics. Watch short videos or news clips and try to catch every word. Read a few sentences or a paragraph from a storybook every morning, even if you don't understand everything. Speak to yourself while cooking, walking, or traveling. Narrate your actions in English. Turn your daily life into a mini classroom where your senses are absorbing English without judgment or pressure. And when you see new words or phrases, write them down. Repeat them. Let them become part of your vocabulary, part of your expression, part of who you are. Immersion also trains your brain to connect English to real life. Instead of memorizing rules, you start recognizing patterns, feeling the rhythm of sentences, noticing tone and emotion. Your mind becomes tuned to English naturally. And slowly, your confidence grows because you realize you understand more than you thought. You stop fearing mistakes because every exposure teaches you something. Every sentence you hear or read or speak strengthens your skill. And as you immerse yourself, you begin to enjoy the language, feel its beauty, and experience the joy of learning not through pressure, but through living, through engaging, through being fully present with English in your world. Practicing out loud is one of the most powerful tools you can give yourself as an English learner, and I want you to feel the energy and importance of this habit fully. So many people make the mistake of thinking that reading silently, listening, or memorizing is enough. But the truth is, language lives in your voice, in your mouth, in the way you express yourself. Speaking out loud transforms your learning from passive to active. It forces your brain to connect words with action, your mind with sound, and your confidence with expression. When you speak, even if it's just one sentence at a time, you are training your body, your brain, and your heart to work together in English. And that, my dear learner, is where true fluency begins. Start simply. Repeat sentences you hear in videos or podcasts. Speak words in front of the mirror. Narrate your day, even if only to yourself. Don't worry about mistakes. Don't worry about grammar. The act of speaking is more important than speaking perfectly. Your voice is your teacher. Every time you hear yourself say a word, your brain records it. Every time you form a sentence, your confidence grows. You will notice that after a few minutes of speaking daily, your hesitation starts to fade, your words start to flow more naturally, and your fear of speaking in front of others begins to disappear. That tiny habit, practiced consistently, builds unstoppable momentum. Speaking out loud also strengthens your courage. When you voice your thoughts, even in small private steps, you are telling yourself that your words matter, that your ideas matter, and that your ability to communicate matters. This habit rewires your mind to be brave, not perfect. It transforms fear into action, doubt into practice, and hesitation into fluency. Every word spoken out loud is a victory. Every sentence completed is proof that you are capable. And over time, those small victories compound, giving you the confidence, clarity, and strength to express yourself effortlessly, authentically, and powerfully in English. Celebrating every small win is one of the most overlooked yet transformative habits for anyone learning English, and I want you to feel the power of this truth deep in your heart. So often, learners focus only on the big milestones. They wait to speak fluently, to write perfectly, to understand everything at once. And when those big goals take time, they get frustrated, discouraged, and sometimes give up. But what if I told you that the secret to lasting motivation and unstoppable progress is to honor the tiniest victories along the way? Every new word you learn, every sentence you understand, every attempt you make to speak out loud is a step forward, and each step deserves recognition. When you celebrate small wins, you fuel your brain and your spirit with positivity, making the journey joyful instead of burdensome. Start noticing your progress in real time. When you learn a new phrase, say it out loud and feel proud. When you understand a line in a video, smile, acknowledge it, and internalize that achievement. Write down your successes, even the tiny ones, because your mind remembers what you celebrate. Gratitude for your own effort transforms ordinary practice into a powerful habit that compounds over time. You stop comparing yourself to others and instead honor your personal journey. You begin to see learning not as a struggle, but as a series of victories that build confidence and self-belief. Celebrating small wins also strengthens resilience. Every time you acknowledge progress, no matter how minor, you remind yourself that effort matters, that persistence matters, and that you are capable of growth. Mistakes no longer feel like failure because each attempt is part of the learning, part of the victory itself. Your motivation grows naturally because celebration creates joy, and joy fuels action. You start approaching English with enthusiasm instead of fear, curiosity instead of pressure, and over time, those small, celebrated moments create momentum so powerful that fluency, confidence, and mastery are no longer distant dreams. They are the natural results of honoring every step of your journey.